Hey there. So you just caught me putting away some of my recently watched DVDs, which leads to the question, why collect DVDs in 2024? Who does it and should you? Well, we'll break it down to why, and I'll get to the should you at the end. Maybe I'll even show you a couple of the ones that I've got here. I'm Aaron. It's the Call to Cinema. Welcome. Been online, and especially here on YouTube, in the last 3 or 4 months, you've probably seen a video talking about collecting DVDs. Why people think they should or they shouldn't do it. There's been a lot of shade thrown around people that do still collect DVDs in this time. A lot of it won't look so good on your TV. A lot of stuff that I'm gonna talk about and either kind of expand on or dispel in a lot of cases some of the myths of DVD collecting. I do collect DVDs in 2024. I collect Blu-rays and 4Ks as well. It really depends. See, but I think for a lot of people, one of the big reasons is, well, it's this. See, this is probably the biggest thing. Convenience and cost. Cost of DVDs, especially if you're buying secondhand, you're thrifting, then you get DVDs for significantly cheaper. Now, people will tell you there's not much difference nowadays when you're thrifting in the price of DVDs than there is Blu-rays, but there really still actually is. My cats are going crazy over there. Um, I recently went back to Canada to do a bit of thrifting. Now, there were some Blu-rays there that were on for a decent price, usually $5 or slightly below. But again, the same stuff was there on DVD for often $2 or $3 and slightly below, and sometimes less than $1. And here's the thing: I also noticed the disparity between the Blu-rays and the DVDs that were there. There would be a rack or a handful of Blu-rays, and the ones that were there were okay, but the selection and the variety and the just huge size of DVDs was much higher and much wider. But what if we're looking at stores, at going into an actual brick and mortar store, and we're not thrifting? What are we looking at for costs then? Well, costs can sometimes be slightly comparable. You can find DVDs and Blu-rays that are often similar or near the same cost, but it doesn't stop for cost right there. Because for most people that went from VHS to DVD, you went from VHS to DVD. Maybe you kept your VHS player like I did, but you got a DVD player. Whether you got it like first through a game console, you eventually got a DVD player because DVD players became very accessible. They're very cheap. They're very easy to get. It was a format that, in all honesty, was it was cheaper to collect. So we got cheaper. Uh, let's talk about convenience. It's just there's more of it there. Aside from it being more available, even in modern day, it's still the best-selling format that's out there. There's also so many ways to play your DVDs. Every one of your game systems that you've had, even if you're a retro gamer, more unless you're going for Nintendo, usually have a way to play DVDs on it. Going out and getting a DVD player is extremely cheap, like insanely cheap nowadays. And Blu-ray players can be, but not always. Some of them still hit in the higher end. If you want a 4K player, then you're getting into a much higher end. And although they're getting cheaper, they have not become cheap and accessible for everybody. Convenience plus cost equals, well, in a lot of cases, an instant collection. If I wanted to pick up the streets of San Francisco, I would pick up this DVD box set of the Streets of San Francisco. I'm not going to wait for somebody to say, oh, we're putting out a Blu-ray set of Streets of San Francisco. It's great if they do. That's wonderful. But I got it. Do I need to double dip on the show when I already have it? No, probably not. I just recently picked this up from Amazon, and it's great. The quality's fantastic. I love the series, and I was really glad to get it. If cost and convenience are big factors towards it, then one of the negatives has always been people talking about, well, they tend to talk about quality. So let's get into quality. Videos and comments talking about the fact that if you've got DVD and you've got a good widescreen TV setup, then you're probably it's probably lackluster. Actually, most people will say if you're collecting DVD in 2024, then maybe you've got an old TV. Maybe you've got a TV that's going at 720p. That's an insulting comment to make, and it's also extremely false. Who has a 720p? Well, I guess they're out there. But the thing is, I watch my stuff on my LG C1 OLED television set, and it's a big TV. I have a good setup when it comes to the different like ways to set up through watching DVDs. Whether it's my game system, it's my dedicated players, um, and the thing is, the quality is there. Well, the quality be different than like a Blu-ray or 4K. Uh, at times, the Terminator 2 disc for on DVD is still superior to my 4K disc of Terminator 2, like severely superior to my 4K disc of Terminator 2. And there are ones that are out there that are still like that. Sometimes the uptick from DVD to Blu-ray isn't super noticeable or super negligible. Sometimes it's amazing, sometimes it's fantastic. When Blu-ray was coming out, you'd see all these videos talking about, oh, this is watching it on DVD, this is watching it in high definition Blu-ray, which is fantastic. And I do like Blu-ray, and I do buy 4Ks as well. It's just that it's a disingenuous argument to say that, oh, a DVD is automatically going to have bad quality when you put it on to a widescreen modern day television. That's not true. It's legitimately not true. At least not in this guy's eyes. Maybe I'm older. Maybe my eyes aren't as good. But that being said, I'm like, no. It's fairly good unless you're really nitpicky. Now there are people that go on and they'll look at the like the bit, right? Like how big of a disc this is. Is it 50 gig disc? Is it 100 gig disc? How much is put here, compression, all this type of thing. I'm not doing that. I'm looking for the enjoyment and watching the film. And you know what? Most people are. That's the thing. People look through the eyes sometimes of the lens of like what a reviewer or a YouTuber uh, is going to look at. But that's not the norm. That's not the general populace. That's looking at it through a different standpoint and a different viewpoint, which isn't bad. It isn't wrong, but it isn't connecting with all of the audience that you're talking to as well. Most people out there, especially today in 2024, you want to know one. We talked about it before. Cost is a definite reason. You still want to be able to watch the movies that you want to watch, but you don't want to have to spend a fortune on them. And with streaming taking things off and changing and altering things on a regular basis, and people seeing streaming prices going up and up, it's even to go out and buy like a newer film on DVD is really a better idea than it is to go and grab it from and one hope that it comes on streaming. And sometimes the price difference between a 4K and a DVD, or even a 4K, even a Blu-ray and a DVD, can be very significant. NVIDIA Rewind, NVIDIA Visual in general, has been one of the smarter, more forward-thinking companies when it comes to this, in that they still sell DVD. They sell DVD because DVD sells. DVD is something that's always it's a quick buy. It's like your impulse buy. It's when you're going to the grocery store and you go up to the front and you see these things there that you don't really need, but you know you're going to buy them. DVD becomes that impulse buy. I got a lot of DVDs I will never get rid of. I love the menus for DVDs. DVD menus are the best. When I got the Blu-ray, it got more lackluster when it came to menus. When it came to 4K, let's be honest, 4K menus are freaking boring. They are boring. They're the worst menus out there of any format. I'd rather put on a VHS and then I would put on a 4K because at least VHS, there's some personality to the menus on a VHS tape. Well, not a menu, to the opening on a VHS tape. There's no personality to a menu on a 4K. I have things here like this is the original Savage Streets with Linda Blair. Look at this. Look at this artwork. Look at this cover. Look at the way that this was done. This was from Arrow Videos when they did their original Arrow releases. This had a booklet. It's got dual artwork. There's a big poster inside here as well, double-sided poster, and a ton of special features. And it's a fantastic release. Have I gone out and picked up the Blu-ray? And I'm sure there's going to be 4K of Savage Streets if there's not already down the road. I don't need to, and I haven't needed to yet because this one does me just fine. I know that I've got the movie on there. I know that it's it's the uncut version, and that matters a lot too. A lot of times nowadays, I love the boutique labels, and I collect from all of them. There's not a boutique label that I don't collect from and appreciate, but it can be sometimes paying a lot for the sometimes the name, especially when you look at some of the biggers. Criterions are very expensive. I love Criterion. Criterion is very expensive. Vinegar Syndrome is getting into the Criterion range of becoming the boutique collector's market. When that happens, then we have the issue of it pricing itself out of the general populace and becoming more of just a collector's mentality market, which is okay if that's what you're going for. But when you're looking at a company that looks towards like the consumer a bit more, then you're going to see companies that actually still do DVD. Mill Creek will still put out DVDs on a regular basis, and the thing is, they sell through pretty quickly. Mill Creek aren't doing the remasters. They're not a remastering company like something like a Vinegar Syndrome would be. But it is nice to see that there's companies that have that option still out there, and VD Visual has that option still out there for people. I think Radiance was asked about it recently, and they said they'd never do DVDs. It doesn't make any sense. Who'd buy DVDs? Well, considering DVDs are the largest selling format out of Blu-ray and 4K, well, I guess let me answer your question for you. A lot of people would probably buy your product on DVD. And then you had to wonder about cost ratio analysis. It's easy to say, okay, this is going to be uber pricey. No, this one wasn't though, because look, it's a special, sexy Blu-ray edition. Whereas they may feel like people won't pay the price for a DVD edition of it. But I don't think that kind of like holds out. If it's fairly priced, you'll see DVDs that are still like $25-$30 in stores, and they're not in there just keeping up shelf space. People are buying those, and that's something that I noticed when I was in Canada. When I go to Sunrise Records, people were still there that bought DVDs. Yet there was a large collection of Blu-ray and a smaller collection of 4K there, but DVDs still had a massive part of the marketplace. And if anybody's picking up a TV series or just want to pick up like one of the, if you want to pick up like some of the cooler like shot on video stuff or the regular horror stuff, and you may not want to pay premium price for it, then DVD tends to be a really, really good option for that. So we've talked about the myth of the horrible picture on a bigger screen. We've talked about the price point often being a lot cheaper. I haven't even mentioned the Walmart bins when you get the $5, $3.99, $1.99, and $8 bins for DVD. That it's the most prevalent use for like TV shows and for seasons is still the DVD format. We talked about the convenience factor of it and the fact that it is still easier and cheaper to get a DVD player, to get something that'll play DVDs, to have a DVD writer on your attached to your computer. If your computer doesn't have a DVD drive, you might have a DVD drive attached to it. And it's cheaper to buy a DVD drive than it is to buy a Blu-ray drive or a 4K drive, and in some cases significantly cheaper. All these factor into the cost. Also, we have to look at the fact that although there is the which I am part of, the boutique label collectors market that buy a lot of the boutique label stuff. At a point when things get more expensive and get more pricey, you have to start looking and kind of picking and choosing what it is that you want to buy, and in some cases realizing that it should be film over format. The movie should matter more than the format that you're watching it in. Now, it's great to say, well, I want to see this in the best format. I want to see this the way it looked in the theater. That's wonderful. But I don't think that's going to be the case for absolutely every film. And if that is, and you have the bones to do that, that's fantastic. But looking at it from a general audience perspective, then that's a different story, because we're looking at it from everybody that goes in and wants to buy this. What we want overall, anybody that collects physical media, is we want to see people buying physical media. We want to see that market still out there, still growing, still thriving, still surging. What we don't want to see is more people going towards just streaming. And we've recently seen a kind of a pushback on streaming, with a lot of people now, especially younger people, going back towards collecting physical media. They don't give a crap about what if it's Blu-ray or 4K or what company is on the side of it. It's interesting, it's cute, and like, oh, this is a nice one I found when I was thrifting. But more so, they want the film, and they'll pick that up in whatever format they get, whether that's a DVD format, which often, let's be honest, the DVD versions of a lot of things actually packaged are just packaged so much better than some of the early stuff. Now, if you're to get the type of packaging that you got in some of the early like DVD stuff, nowadays it costs you a fortune. But some of that early DVD packaging stuff you can pick up is those big like digipacks and books and things with like, I got like this set that, for Master of the Universe, and it's an incredible looking set. It's got the Crest of Grayskull. That nowadays that thing would probably cost around $300 to pick it up, or maybe it does in the aftermarket. But overall, DVDs are a lot easier and a lot cheaper to pick up. Let's give you one other kind of example of that. I went to Walmart before I came to Canada on a Black Friday, and I picked up this set here for $20. The 80s and 90s set. And I watch a lot of this stuff and on a regular basis. So what's on this here? We got Footloose, Ghost, Indecent Proposal, Flashdance, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Fatal Attraction, Election, Clueless, Beverly Hills Cop, Better Off Dead, Airplane, 48 Hours, Juice, Major League, Naked Gun from Falls Police Squad, Officer and Gentleman, Payback, The Director's Cut, Tommy Boy, The Untouchables, and Wayne's World. What I paid for this is the cost of what one Blu-ray would cost to buy one of these here. Maybe two if you go to a Walmart. But if you wanted to pick up like the Election, there's a Criterion edition, which in Canada is going to cost you around $60, a third of what this entire set costs. And by the way, the menus on the DVDs are one of the amazing reasons to have this, because you see these are all literally just the regular editions of the DVDs, or special editions in some case, put into a set. Go special collector's edition. Now, for me, there's the convenience factor as well of being able to put something like this into like this size case. I like that. I like the saving of shelf space. See, when Blu-ray initially came out, one of the big things was that it was smaller in size than a DVD was. So some people are like, oh, well, I can put a bunch of Blu-rays on here as opposed to one DVD. Now that changes in a market where we're seeing a lot more of a film that's going to be coming of the Super Mario set like movie, or which actually I would love to have actually, but and the Never-Ending Story and stuff like that, where one movie is getting a massive like huge release. Then the form factor, the saving factor of space is no longer something that can be used as an argument to collect Blu-ray or 4K over DVD, because this is going to be a lot smaller than like this is, I love it, I've got it, but this is the 4K of American Werewolf in London. It's my favorite edition of American Werewolf in London, actually. that's out there, and it's comparable to the size of these 20 movies. And this is a small edition. This is not an umbrella type edition. This is like a second sight type edition. Um, but it does have some stuff in there, and I do think that's fantastic for films that you really, really love and you really want to own, and have in the best possible way. Like I love Black Christmas. I could go tomorrow and pick up the Scream Factory 4K Black Christmas, and I probably will eventually. And this is one place where Blu-ray wins out for me because the Season Grievings edition of Black Christmas is still my favorite version of it. But that's the thing; it's a lot easier to collect DVD at a time when Blu-ray and 4K are getting more expensive, when things are becoming pricier. Now there are companies that are still looking out for collectors and collectors' pocketbooks. You know them out there. You can see them. There's companies out there along the lines of like we got Terravision, we got Fancy Editions is often like reasonably priced. In Canada, it can be kind of hard getting a good price though. Kino Lorber is a company that I think really does well with that, and Kino Lorber still has DVDs as well, so I can find DVDs in a shop for Kino Lorber. So when some companies can do it, you wonder about the companies that no longer do. Is it just like I know like pressing costs between Blu-ray and DVD isn't really negligible, like cost wise, and they say that basically it would be around the same price from buying DVD to Blu-ray. So why bother to make that DVD if they don't think they're going to sell it? Which is a reasonable thing to say, except I don't think that's completely true. If DVD is still the big selling format, and if you think that disc is going to sell is something that's going to sell a lot of units, then why cut off part of the amount that you can sell? For some companies, it's going to be the matter of of cost efficiency, because they want to get the best edition put out there as quickly as possible with maybe a limited amount that they can make. And that makes sense if you're like a smaller company and you can only do Blu-ray and 4K and you can do DVD, but it's going to cost you more to get that out there, and that quantity volume isn't going to be enough, and it's going to offset cost and getting back, making the money back that you want to make back. Understandable. But for the average person out there, not the guy that has all the boutique labels behind him, like me, but for the average person out there that's buying for their home, that's going to watch a movie, to pick up a film, they don't care. They're going to go if they see something, if they're at their local Value Village or Salvation Army thrift store or something like that, and they see a film that they like and it's a cheap price, and they're picking up some stuff. Why not pick it up? If they're at Walmart and they see a bin and they look there, oh look, there's Gremlins and Gremlins 2. I haven't watched those in a while. It's coming near Christmas time. Why don't I pick those up and we'll watch those for Christmas? DVDs also make a really nice stocking stuffers as well, so people can do that. There, people have cabins, especially where I live in Canada. A lot of people have cabins, and it's really easy to have a DVD set and like a bunch of DVDs and a DVD player at a cabin. It's just nice and cozy and easy to put on. Cabins often are in the woods, so you're not going to be looking at streaming. Uh, I look towards like people that like start up Airbnbs and stuff like that. Um, if you it's nice if you go to an Airbnb and you see like a DVD player and maybe a few different like selections of DVDs there, like maybe a couple family films, maybe a horror or thriller, maybe a romantic something, a rom com, maybe an action film. It's a nice little like plus and a touch to be put in to make it seem a little bit more homey, and it's inexpensive as well. So it adds to the aspect of Airbnb, because here's the thing: what if you rent out your Airbnb and like the internet's not there? That happens, and that'll be a nice little touch and a bonus. There, sorry, anybody that's doing Airbnb, there's a little tip for you. With that being said, should you collect DVDs in 2024? Everybody's different. I collect DVDs in 2024 because I find them convenient, I find them cost effective. I do not agree that the quality on the TV is so drastically different and horrible from a Blu-ray that you can't watch it. It's unwatchable. That is such hyperbole and such BS. that that I get embarrassed when I hear that argument. Um, should you? That's up to you. I can't tell you what you should or should not collect, but I can tell you that when it comes to like people that are casually buying stuff, um, which is a large majority of the people, we can't like Grey poop on this, or like to go to an old '80s commercial, um, and just stick up our noses at people that want to collect DVD or want to click VHS and say, "Oh, this is an inferior format. Oh, why would they click that when they can have this? I guess their TV's not good enough. I guess their setup's not good enough." I'm here to prove you wrong with that. But aside from that, you're distancing and kind of push off part of the marketplace that enables you to buy boutique Blu-rays in the first place. That there's people still out there putting money into the physical media format, and that's at the end of the day, that's what should count. So, are people collecting DVDs in 2024? Yes, I'm one of them. I collect all formats. And is there anything wrong with collecting DVDs in 2024? Not at all. It is convenient. It is cost effective. It in a lot of places it can save space. It can save some time, and it's a nice little throwback. And you know what? It's a time when menus didn't suck ass. So there you go. For people that are watching this, if you work for a boutique label, look at the DVD menus and please, please, work towards that, because I would love to see that come back. I love DVDs. I love the menus. I love the Easter eggs that they had back then. Man, you would go on and you put your DVD in and you get your and you click around like to find those Easter eggs, right? Those special like little bonuses, whether it be like an extra film or like a a clip or an extra trailer in another language or something just super cool, or a little interview. Um, so much different stuff in Easter eggs. Easter eggs you don't aren't really as prevalent anymore, and it's such a shame. I used to go to like different like websites online just to find out if my disc had an Easter egg, and sometimes I would buy a movie because I knew there would be Easter eggs on it. So there you go. Collecting DVDs in 2024 isn't unrealistic at all. It's actually it's a lot of fun, and it's like a nice warm cup of chocolate after being outside in the cold shoveling snow for a while. It's very, very comforting. It's very, very relaxing. And for me, it's still needed. It's still something I love. I'm Aaron. This is the Call to Cinema, and I'll see you next time.
Oh God. Oh, subscription sloth here. Just want to remind you that I know in the summertime especially it can be super warm and lazy. But if you're liking this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to go that step further and join the Patreon, there's a link for that down below. You can super sticker, super chat, or donate. But above all, just lie back and enjoy the video, because that's what I'm going to do. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed the video. And in case you didn't know, we have memberships now. So if you want to check that out, there is usually a link in the description box down below. I have to go and, well, do what Wendigos do. Don't look it up.
Did you say after see if there's anything else was going to come up, like in a Marvel after credit sequence film? Congratulations! And I want to like show the DVDs that I had in my hands for the beginning of the video, and give an idea of some of my Arrow video collection. Now I showed this one right here, the Streets, the Savage Streets, which is really cool, done by the guy that did, of course, Friday 13 Part 5, Danny Steinman. But also here I have Tintel Brass's Frivolous Lola. It's a very fun film. My cat is going up there. No, you're not. I have The Key from Tintel Brass, which is just, again, another really cool film. Let's cover this in a bit. All Ladies Do It, which is probably my favorite Tintel Brass film, and that includes Caligula. best Caligula isn't the Tunnel Brass one, it's the Ultimate Cut. Sleepless here, of course, from our video, which really had such potential. I'd actually really like this one. The Card Player. Look at these. Look at the artwork on these, by the way. Look at the amazing artwork on these here releases. Stendhal Syndrome. Terror at the Opera or Derek Jones's Opera. Yes, there's a 4K out there, but I'm never, even if I do get 4K, I'm never getting rid of this. Look at this cover. Why would I get rid of this? Are you serious? And Two Evil Eyes. So there you go. That's a little bit of a bonus if you were slick enough and smart enough to stay to the end. Let me know if you got or collected any of these Arrow video releases, because these are classics and I love them all. See you soon.